Black Hawk Down. It's developed by our friends at Climax, and it's from Novalogic and Vivendi Universal. What did you think of Delta Force Black Hawk Down?
Well, I'm an old Delta Force freak myself. I go old school on the PC with Delta Force.
Yep.
And one of my favorite parts of Delta Force was the online play.
Yes.
So it's nice to see it here on the consoles, and the best part of this game is still the online play.
The big news with this particular game, on the Xbox you can have up to 50 people at a time playing,
50!
Which is a record, and then you can also have 32 people at a time playing on the PlayStation 2.
32!
Which is a lot of people, and I'll tell you, when you get out into some of these environments and you've got that many people running around, it is a pretty fun game to play.
Well, it gets pretty crazy and hectic.
It does, and especially if people have grenades or any kind of like area affecting type weapon, you can mow down people quite easily.
Now, that being said, you know, the multiplayer is definitely the best part of the game. The rest of the game is just, it's above average, but it just does not stack up
to the best.
Some of the amazing stuff that the Rainbow Sixes and the
Ghost Recons,
basically every other game. But
even Star Wars Battlefront, you know, it is not the same pedigree. It's no SOCOM, it's no Halo.
And I'll tell you where we begin. We begin with the graphics. The graphics are, you know, average at best.
Well, I think part of the problem is you're fighting in
sand.
You're fighting in Somalia. You know, this is the 90s in Somalia.
Somalia isn't, you know, as colorful as, say, Vegas.
No, there really isn't a lot of variety. You have night missions, you have stuff by the riverbeds and stuff like that, but for the most part, you're looking at desert.
You know, the thing that bothered me the most, though, is that there was really no attention to detail when compared to all those other games. I'll give you an example. You know, you're shooting vehicles. Now, when the enemy vehicles come along, you pop a couple caps in their tank, and they go blowing sky high.
Good explosions.
But you turn around and you hit every single other vehicle in the game that they don't want you to hit, and nothing at all happens. It just seems like they only want you to shoot the things that they want you to shoot. And when you do these war simulation type games, you want to be able to go off the beaten path, let's say.
I agree.
And mow down your own people.
Why can't everything be destructible?
That's exactly my point.
Make it a sandbox. And in multiplayer, I got it. I mean, the audio in multiplayer sounded like combat from the 2600. I swear to God, the gun sounds are like the tank shooting in combat, and I thought it was a joke.
What I did like about the audio is the kind of voice chatter.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The VO chatter in the single player game, even, you know, the AI of your people speaking over the phone, very authentic sounding. I feel that was actually one of the best parts that they nailed perfectly in the entire game.
I did like also that you do have some vehicle interaction in the game. Like, that actually played out pretty well, and they even included that in the multiplayer. The problem is, you can't drive or fly any of these vehicles. So now we're playing like Battlefield and Halo and all these games. And this is like, seriously, you're riding the rails in circles around the map, just shooting at stuff, and it's like, are you kidding me? But all that being said, there is still some fun in the game. I did find myself being pulled along into the experience. What did you think? What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 6.
6.5. On the positive side, you can play with dozens of people online at the same time. We like the voice chatter in the single-player game, and it's a reasonably fun arcade-type shooter that's easy to jump into and play.
On the negative side, the graphics just don't compare to the other games that are out there currently. The sound effects get a little repetitive, especially in online play. But the thing that bugged me the most is the fact that you could only blow up and kill stuff that they wanted you to.